I just got done restoring this Nissan 240SX, and today I'm gonna sell it. Rehabbing this car has been a fine line between a labor of love and a payday, and I think I may have screwed up. So today I'm gonna walk you through the process and expenses of rehabbing a car, because I think I may have just racked up a bunch of good karma points by not turning this into a drift missile. But I'm really hoping I maybe made a couple of bucks. Because over the years, I've bought and sold a lot of cars, but I never bought a car just to sell it, if that makes any sense. My vehicular ADHD just comes from that I want to own every car I've ever wanted that I can afford. Not really doing it for profit. I think I kind of just figured out why on the last episode with my dad. Yeah. This project is the first one that I'm doing just to resell it. So let's see if it pays off. When I found this car, I knew that this thing had to be saved. So I jumped on it before I really even knew what to do with it. I found it listed on Craigslist of all places. It was an abandoned project that had been sitting parked in a garage for over 10 years. To my surprise, the guy I bought it off of, it was his first car and he bought it from the original owner. It was completely stock and it was his baby. So he had one of the best shops in the area build this car way back in 2008. They sourced an entire S15 Spec R driveline and put it underneath this S14 base model. So it has a notch top SR20 DET, 6-speed, and a helical limited slip. It was all done in such a responsible way that it even has a stock tune, working air conditioning, and all of the factory wiring.
Should not have done that while in the car.
He enjoyed the car for a few years, being his daily driver, but it's been sitting since 2014. And when I first looked at this car, we pulled it out of the garage and I immediately knew that this thing was not perfect. The paint was smoked, the interior was absolutely disgusting, and there was some previous body damage, but the bones were strong. I mean, it runs, it drives, and even the AC works somehow. The dash isn't cracked, and it's a base model, so it has no sunroof, which is always appealing to me and other enthusiasts. And these 97, 98 Koki S14s are super special and really rare, so I knew this car had to be saved. And honestly, up to this point, it's been pretty easy and quite affordable. The car didn't need much mechanically. I did a compression test, I changed the spark plugs, I put fresh Pennzoil fluid throughout, and this thing ripped. And in here, we made the biggest transformation. The interior of this car was absolutely disgusting. So I took it to my buddy Brad's shop, Onyx Auto Preservation, and we deep cleaned the interior. And the transformation is incredible. It feels almost brand new in here. But the outside, I knew was gonna be the biggest issue because there was no cheap way around this. It needed body work, it needed paint work, had to go to a body shop. Oh shit. All right, well, I got the car towed out to the body shop because although I come to Strasbourg for all my cars, it's about an hour away from home. And in traffic, it could be a complete disaster. I sent the car out here and now I'm here to talk to Ivan and see what he thinks about it.
What up?
What's going on, dude? How are you?
Ah, my best buddy who hates being on camera.
Hate it.
But you're so good at it. You're so handsome. Look at you. What do you think about it?
It's cool. It's clean for the year. You know, it's pretty honest.
It's not too bad. There's some dents, but it's not like terrible.
It's not terrible at all.
And you're not mad at me for
No,
showing up there.
no. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I tell Ivan a car is really good. I'm like, I'll just bring it by. And then I send him some car and it's usually a pile of crap. But I was like, this one, pretty nice.
And there's no SEMA crunch, none of that stuff. So.
Right, yeah, real loose time schedule to get it done. You don't do it as much anymore, but back when I first met you, you were doing like tons of SEMA builds. Everything here was like, get cars done for SEMA.
Right.
Pretty light work. I mean, I saw you guys got some of it apart already.
It's completely torn down. Now it's just in body stage. So just pull all the dents off, get it in primer, seal it, and then spray color.
So what do you think? Is it going to be like windows out, or is it just tape off some of these gaskets and stuff?
Yeah, for sure these will come off.
Any like major body work or anything you found that has to be repaired?
Just that fender.
That fender had something going on. What was up with that?
Just tons of material from the past. So you can see like the spider web
Oh, so is that Bondo?
Bondo or just tons of pretty material.
Yeah. All right, well, I got to get this thing done for YouTube. So what do you think? How long?
It should be done next week. I gotta get out of here, so.
You're really going to say that right now? You heard it here, folks. Next week, we're getting the car back. This thing's getting done. All right, today's the day. We are driving to go pick up the S14. It's all done. I haven't seen it yet, and Ivan hasn't told me how much I owe him. All right, this thing goes back soon, but we're racking up miles. Here's a pro tip. Get a body guy that's also a car guy, because then you can bribe him, paint stuff for cheaper with parts that he needs. Not applying these to that 240, taking off money off the Ferrari paint job. They've just been in storage for the last couple of years, so I figure I should save some money on getting the 360 painted, and Ivan wants these for his GT3, surprising him by bringing them here now. Merry Christmas!
Oh, nice.
Dude, this looks sick. This right now is the second one I regret wanting to sell this car because it looks so good. Holy crap. I came here when the car was taken apart, and you said it wasn't that bad, but you haven't dug into it too deep yet. So what did you find?
They definitely had previous damage on the passenger side. So the fender was all cracked and the door was too from the previous
Yeah, there was that dent here.
Yeah, and it just had a bunch of old material. So it was just cracking and it was just old.
Yeah.
It's probably been bodyworked in the 90s. Everything came apart besides glass. So we just stripped the molding off and we just kept the glass in.
Yeah, you were saying that it's super risky to pull this glass out and not crack it, right?
50% chance, yeah.
Other than that, I mean, it looks really clean.
Yeah, that's all it needs is front and rear molding.
Dude, it looks so good. Easy day job.
Day job.
I'm excited to see it out in the light.
It came out really good.
Thank you.
Well, yeah.
God damn. And this is like the perfect light for a black car because you can't even tell how dusty it is, even though it just came outside. Damn. I know that you could go so over the top with these cars, but just a nice clean black paint job and OEM Plus body kit, it looks so good. I don't even want to get rid of this thing now, but it's not even coming back home with us today because I already sold it and the buyer is picking it up from Strassport. So Ivan's got a couple little things to button up and then Mark's gonna come grab the car. I don't even get to enjoy it for a bit, but let's head back to the Speakeasy because we have one more car we're selling today and then we'll recap how we did on this one. Well, a lot's changed around here, so I gotta get rid of some cars. But first, what the hell are you doing here?
Leave my plant alone.
What do you got going on right here?
Leave my
Is this thing gonna eat you?
No, it's supposed to eat all my pests. I'm taking care of it.
Is that like, you're just carrying that around now?
I want you guys to meet Cleopatra. It's a good plan. Stop! They have like a limited amount of times where they can clamp.
All right, so a lot's changed over at the Speakeasy, and Jason is using a lot more of this place. He's here a lot more often. He started his own thing called Alterman after leaving what was Wheel Pros, Hoonigan, whatever. So I gotta get rid of some cars. One of them is gonna leave today. But before we get started on that, I wanted to let you guys know we updated the Rally Backer t-shirt. We changed out the blank that we're using so it fits better. It's a bit thicker stock. We really prefer this style t-shirt. So it's available now on the Drivers Era e-com store, so go check it out. And luckily for me, it's buried behind all these cars because Jason needs more space, but he's very similar to Scotto in that he just keeps collecting non-running vehicles. Because I'm getting rid of a bunch of cars, it's not that I don't want to have anything, I just need to simplify the fleet so everything has a purpose. So that means the car that we're gonna get rid of today, E36. It's been a really good storage rack recently. But honestly, it'll serve someone as a really good seat time car. This thing's been super reliable, but I just don't use it enough. Yeah, it's really turned into a storage rack. God. I gotta clean a lot of this stuff up because this car comes with a ton of spare parts, but not like a tent stuff. But I haven't started this car in, I don't even remember. When did it get hot?
July.
So I stopped going drifting in like July. It's been like 6 months and I bet this thing still fires up no problem. Oh!
What you sit on?
No seat pad, just a Velcro on my bare back.
Good car.
That's great.
It's a good car, man.
Oh, I treat it good. I keep it on a battery tender so the battery doesn't die, so at least it'll start.
What happened to your steering wheel, fool?
I took my quick release out when I sold the green car, which was a really long time ago, and I haven't used it since. But the power steering on this thing looks great. Honestly, it's been a really good car. I just don't use it enough. So for me, I want to have a drift car that I could also street drive. I've owned a lot of E36s. I have a ton of spare parts for this thing. Drift cars are kind of consumables, so I figure what better than to sell it with all of its stuff. This way the next owner could jam on this thing for years to come and hopefully not have to buy any parts. Tons of spare parts. Extra control arm, extra subframe with solid bushings that was actually out of the green car. I stocked up on OEM axles, even though I've never broken a set. Got spare camber arms, even though I've never broken a set. K2 Industry fog lights, some extra Swift springs for the rear, brand new windshield, some plexi. Got yellow seat pads in case you want more yellow. A brand new OEM windshield. You just really want to use that impact gun, huh?
No, I want to feel like an E36 owner. I like these cars a lot.
I'll trade you. At least mine's all one color.
Oh, okay.
Who wants to see Jolly's JZX90 get prettied up on the channel? Because I have a hard time letting my boy rock like this. This is exactly what I want out of what'll replace the E36. A car that you could daily drive, you could drift, you could put people in, could haul champ. Like, this thing is perfect. Once it gets painted, this thing will be looking nice, or wrapped.
No! What are you doing?
Your wheels.
You gonna clean the one wheel?
But there's a meet down at Gretty HQ, so we're gonna go check that out. Make a quick pit stop down to the Gretty HQ. We rounded up the boys and we're going down to their annual food drive. Then when we get back, I'll jump into how I made out doing the S14 rehab project.
This is nuts. This is like every business parking lot's taken over.
Yeah, there has to be over 2,000 cars here. We just pulled up. We parked 3 miles away.
Yeah.
We're walking up with a bunch of food. I left mine with Amy. But
Did you put the ramen on the bottom? I hear cracking.
but there's a ton of cars here. A lot of really cool stuff. Just casual.
Combo right there. Just the casual FDs and a Mark IV.
Damn, good eye. I don't know. I didn't notice that. It's pretty cool though. It's always funny that people say that like you can't do anything fun in California. Yeah, everyone out here. Look at this. We just got JZX90, big front mount, hood, fenders, the whole thing. Super Slam 240SX. Like,
And then you got an AutoZap. over there on the curb.
Like, it ain't stopping anyone. The scene here is friggin' wild.
Yeah.
I hate coming to stuff like this though, because I saw like 15 really nice S14s and I'm like, God damn it, I should have kept it.
And a sport cross, and essentially everything you've ever owned. There was this sick E90 that drove by.
It's hard. Now you understand why so many people have ADD out here, because like everywhere you go, there's just so many sick examples of the car you like, and you're like,
and you
maybe
see
I
it
need
done.
one.
You see it done. You see it done well. You're like, oh, that could be me.
All right, so the S chassis market is pretty hard to nail down. On the bottom end, you have some really crusty looking SR swapped S13s for like 14 grand. And at the very top, some of the cars that I followed along on these auction platforms and actually wanted to buy are selling for like 25 grand. So it's really hard to say where to price this car. But I think it falls pretty high on that scale, being the spec it is, all the stuff done to it, and how clean it is now. So I sold the car for $24,500. And I think that's like a good deal and a bad deal at the same time for me, because I think the car should be worth a little bit more, but I was able to sell it fast, and I think that's kind of around what the market value is for the car. So let's break it down. So I've added up what I've put into the car because I really wanted to calculate how much I'm netting in a profit after doing all of this work. I paid 14 grand for the car, which I thought was a killer deal until you start putting money into it. 1,400 bucks for taxes and registration. There's $290 into the tune-up, which was just Pennzoil, synthetic oil, spark plugs, trans and diff fluid. Then moving on to the body parts is where it started to get expensive. Sourcing all of that OEM, JDM body kit definitely added up. With the Greddy front lip, it cost me $1,800. And finally, the biggest part to this project, cost-wise, was the paint job, 4,500 bucks. And that's a good deal because I've known Ivan for a long time and I brought all my cars there, so he hooks me up a lot. I'm sure it would have cost more if I was just a stranger walking in off the street. So the grand total, $21,990 into the car. That is so much work to completely overhaul a car from the interior to the exterior and even a tune-up to make 2,500 bucks. I tied up $20,000 of my own money and invested over 10 days of my time, if you include like buying the car, going to get the parts, working on it, and then also, man, probably tons of time looking for the car and looking for the parts. Just at that level, 250 bucks a day to do all of that work is kind of insane. And I didn't set out to flip this car. I just kind of bought it because I wanted to save it, and then I decided to get rid of it because I don't really have room for it in my life. That's a ton of work that goes into rehabbing a car just to sell it. And that's why I've never intentionally set out to flip a car. What I've always done was buy a car for a good deal and enjoy it over a long period of time. This way I could incrementally put money into it and get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And then if I make a car a lot nicer over a long period of time, chances are it's gone up in value. It's paid off for me every single time. But doing it this way, just to make a profit, I don't think it was worth it. I didn't get to enjoy the car. I didn't really make enough money. Would you do all this for 2,500 bucks? I sure wouldn't. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. I wanted to give you guys an update on the S14. I know you haven't seen it on the channel in a really long time, but a lot of you guys are excited about it. I'm sad it had to go, but I'm gonna make room for a lot of cool projects coming to this channel next year. So unfortunately, some sacrifice had to be made. But thank you all for watching. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. But for now, I'm out.